Okay. Now, before we start, I would like to ask you to do some questions to have a start, and let me know you really understand the concept last time. I asked you guys to do practice 12.4, right? Now, please double check if you finished it. All right, double check attendance first of all. Your class. I found that in the fourth and the fifth lesson, the Zoom has got some technical difficulty, right? I would like to check the case for 4A and 4B as well. Do you experience something similar? Do you find some technical difficulties of logging in the Zoom in the fourth and fifth lesson? 有冇啊？有冇呢個問題？
好似冇喎，我哋嗰班
全部都上到係咪啊？
係我哋嗰班好似冇。
Okay, and I found some other classes, those teachers are yelling and cry. They just cry for help because some people are not found in the Zoom, and indeed, I know that it is a matter of the technical difficulties, but don't worry. In the new normal, we have to be patient in terms of this change. Actually, let's check your attendance first of all. Chen Huiting, are you here? 25 students. Chen Huiting. 26. 2 miss for today. Let's check. Chen Huiting. Yeah, we need. I need to be patient. I need to wait. Chen Hokka here. Now here comes Long Nhật Long. Tầng Ga Kiệt. And 27. There should be one student absent. Just double check who.
Magalok.
Magalok not here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Magalok, are you here? Just a call upon your name first. Magalok. No. Absent. Not seen him in the lesson as well. In the previous lesson.
今日成堂都冇返啊！今日成堂都冇返，即係所有今日都冇返。
Oh, absent. Oh, maybe he's sick. I would like to check his status later. And okay, thank you. Now, to start with, I would like to show you to show you the book again. Thank you. Last time I show you, I let you guys to do so, to do some questions. Or sometimes yeah, thank you. Now, on this 12.4, 3 or 4, that should be 12.4. Have you all done that? Okay. Now we try to get addressed to the two important equations. One is when you are having number, you can change it to mole, and you reverse. The linkage of them is the word Avogadro's constant. So it is set as 6.02 times 10 to the power 23. That is the first point. I would like to get you some address on the previous lesson. Second is on the mass, that one that we can count it. And because of the different concepts of this, you may have got molar mass, different atoms will have different weight. So we would use the concept of having what happened to the mass in bulk. Okay, so for easier measuring, but to human, it is nonsense to weight the atom, to weight the atom by atom, right? Instead, you use a large amount of materials for their daily life, and that's why we have got the concept molar mass, which is said to be per mole how many grams are there. And now we would have this conversion. In case we have got mass of a substances, I can change it to mole. How? I use the concept of one carbon 12 atom weighs 12 unit. I change it to 1 mole. 1 mole of carbon atoms, it weighs 12.000 gram, and then use this as a concept to get to know the ratio. We call that mass over molar mass equals number of moles. So we would, last time we just stop it here. Class practice 12.3. The 12.4 as well, sorry. Okay, here comes the answers. 有問係唔識計嘅呢個。If you are going to given a sample of the 49.2 gram of iron 3 sulfate, we are having the two formula. How many formula units? How many formula units? Which means we have got a mass here, and I do this formula over molar mass, and we will get this. So the way to get that molar mass, I found it from the very beginning. You need to know the formula correctly. Now, if you don't cannot write down the formula correctly, you may get it wrong. And by doing so, you may have the answer 0.123 mole. Now remember, the calculations of it involves 3 sig figs. Okay, involves 3 sig figs. And if I want to change it to number, what you need to do is to multiply by the Avogadro's number. Okay, so here comes 7.40 times 10 to the power 22. So again, 3 sig figs for this. While if you want to take a look on ions there, now, so this is a very important sentence that I would like to get addressed to all of you, is that number of ions found in one formula unit. Here comes 5. How do you know it's 5? We have got 2 for iron 3, 3 sulfate. So altogether 2 plus 3 equals 5. Plus sulfate. Here comes 5 units for that. So that's why we multiply by 5, and we will get the answer 3.70 times 10 to the power 23. Now, many people would omit that O easily, very easily. They will omit that O very easily. So, but remember, the calculations on these questions always involve you to calculate up to 3 decimal place. Any questions? 有冇嘢問 ？So 見唔到呢度有2條 equation 出現咗啊？第一條係咩 ？mass 除 molar mass 係冇，第二條咧 就係點樣計冇啊？就係 number of particle 除阿布加州 constant 咯，兩條式出現咗啦。So can you see that the second equation is found here? So that two-form equation mathematical expression, you need to be highly aware of it. Okay? Questions? Questions? If not, we will go to another one. So the second questions involve which samples would contain a greater number of what? 係啦，每一次都要問自己嘅 greater of what 啫，睇清楚比較。This time atoms. So in order to tackle this problem, you need to give me the whole formula of those substances for comparison. Methane, CH4, carbon dioxide, CO2. And you need to multiply the factors of times 5 for CO2 SH4 and times 3 for CO2. Leaving behind is your effort to come up with what? Number of atoms. Okay, how? Now to start with, here comes the mass. What I need to change it, first of all, I change it to number of moles. Before we come to number. Why? Because it is just mass. I divide it into molar mass. And for mole, I change it to number. What I want to do is to times L, Avogadro's constant. Okay, but remember, you are going to multiply a factor. So take a look on the formula. You are going to check the formula and you know what are the factors that you have to. As said before, times 5 for methane, times 3 for CO2. Why? Because one methane molecule contains 5 atoms. One CO2 molecule contains 3 atoms. Do you understand? So I would like to look for the answers here. That's the number of moles, a number of atoms in a sample of methane is this. And when you compare with the other one, this, that is the point of comparison. Now, of course, you may get the exact number. It's up to you. 有人係去到呢度計埋個實數俾我嘅，係冇問題嘅。計實數即係幾多？呢個實數係幾多？呢兩個實數。李晴，呢兩個實數係幾多 ？Let's check the sigma. 李晴係咪答？第一個呢度呢個實數幾多？第一個2.50乘6.02乘12廿3。
我唔識睇啊，但係撳咗計數機之後唔識。
What will you see on your screen?
1.50跟住乘24次方。
係啦 ，now so easy. You see the calculator, you show you the screen like this, 1.505, and then small letter, and then times, and then 24, right? Like this. So what you need?
1.51. Right.
Yeah, 1.51 times 10 to the 24. Okay, so if you see this in the screen of your calculator, you need to change a little bit. Okay, or directly put all those things. But remember, you need to change it in free suffix. How about the next one? 1.81 times 10 to the power 24. Yes, that's right. So can you get the point? So you use this for comparison. this number, CO2 represent number of atoms in CO2 is more than what? Methane. So that is the answer. Questions? Any questions so far? Now, in this lesson, we will continue on deriving something more. We will call it as a come to that one to have a concept of formula. So we will from page will be for 12.4 up to 12.6 from page 80 to 90 89嚟緊啲10版啊so this is what we would like to cover it today 12.4 to 12.6 questions here can I move on 有邊啲同學未寫完嘅有冇冇啦嘛冇我飛嘅喎有邊個未寫完1 2 3冇飛So here comes another topic. So we would come to something, or we would like to come up with the percentage by mass of an element in a compound. How do I know such? We need to do some calculations. Just omit that formula, you may be too complicated to understand in terms of written, or even this, right? They are just simple. You may find it quite hard to understand. But the best way is to take a look at the example. Now, for example, we have got this calcium dihydrogen phosphate. It's used in fertilizers for providing phosphorus to plants. What is the percentage by mass of phosphorus in compound? So you may find this very often in fertilizers, 肥料. So have you ever heard of the term NPK fertilizers? NPK fertilizers. Now that 3 elements, they are essential for the growth of plants. You know it? Okay. And for nitrogen, or you go to market, they will not show it like this way. For market, they will show it as this. Okay, they would, because of the different types of fertilizers, they will show it this way. For the all-purpose fertilizers, they will show it's 111. What's mean by that? For the growth of the plants, just like the nitrogen, it is good for the leaves and roots. But for P and K, it is good for the flowers and for the fruits making. So if you go to the flower shops or maybe even the bonsai, and you may find some bottles of fertilizers, and each one of them they will ask you have different purposes. For some fertilizers asking you for the green plants only, you may have nitrogen of higher content. But at the same time, if you want to pick the bottles for hoping for growing more flowers or plant or fruits, you may use the high ratio of phosphorus and potassium. You know it? Now the question comes is for the percentage of mass of phosphorus in the compound. So please check the phosphorus. The phosphorus you have got 2 units. You have got 2 units. So that's why in your calculations, and you need to show we have got 2 phosphorus here. Okay, 2 phosphorus here, and times for phosphorus, the RAM of phosphorus, and what is that? The whole thing, it is the formula mass of the compound of calcium dihydrogen phosphate. And so you may find that this is calcium, 2 times the whole thing, 2H, 1P, 4O. Okay? By doing so, you can get what you want is about 26.5. Okay, 26.5%. So again, it should be made as a 3 sig-fig. Why is it 3 sig-fig again? It's because you are going to have a division. But for the calculations here, if you just calculate up to numerator only or denominator only, the answer should be in what? In 1 dp. Now, because stand alone, you are now dealing with the addition of number only. So we focus on decimal place. Any questions? Any questions? Now your turn. 知做乜咧？就輪到你啦。Some compounds they will have they will crystallize with water as part of the crystal structure. We call it water of crystallization. So that's why you may have copper to sulfate 5 water. We call it hydrated form. Without water, a white powder. Okay, we call it anhydrous form without water. Hydrated form 5 water. So you can also use this in the calculations. You can put this into calculations. For example, if you want to calculate percentage by mass of, it's not element, it can be a substance, mass of water. So the whole thing will be integrated. Okay, the whole thing. So that's why in your example, you may get it as 2 times water. Okay, 2 times water here. And overall, what is that? It is barium chloride here. And this one is what is meant by 2 water. You add it all together and you can get the percentage by mass of water inside. I calculate it as 14.7%. Questions? Easier. So here comes class practice. It's your time. Urea, 尿素, is a common nitrogen-containing compound found in fertilizers. What is the percentage by mass of nitrogen in urea? Second is the mass of percentage by mass of water. The third one is the it's more complicated, huh? So we start from first 2 questions, easier. Tom Guan Yao, first question. 男朋友 are you here？ 唔見咗人啊？唔看得？
係
係 take a look on question one。
係咪45.2%？
45.2%點計啊？
兩粒嘅 nitrogen atom，之後下面係嗰個 mass of CH4NEO。
好，下邊計緊嗰個幾多？
下面嗰個係計翻先。
2 times 14.0 right over just calculate is 12.0 plus 4 times 1.0 plus
14乘2再加16，
加16，咁你計到幾多啊？
乘翻100%，我計到45.2。
45.2啊，爭少少喎。
我計到46.7啊，計。
係啊，46.7。
我都計到46.7。
係，有人計到。
可能我撳錯機。
係，咁啊，咁你有冇留意到頭先我講緊啦？話 you please first of all check this 呢個 data 你計到幾多？係咪計到60.0？咁如果計到60.0就啱啦。你又計到50幾啊？50幾啊？53.2啊？50幾啊？
我計到60啦，而家。
啊？60？哦，你講呢個係咪？
係。
下邊嗰個係咪60啊？
係。
係啦，咁如果你嘗試28除60啊？OK。
哦。
Do you realize that may be the problem about denominator, right? The denominator you need to calculate again. 好啦，咁去到呢度，I may remind all of you, right? Once you use the calculator, you have to make full use of the bracket function. Okay, the bracket function, especially for denominator, the whole thing. You want to calculate it all in one formula. You need to be very good at doing the +4 and then 20h and then 16 and close bracket. And by doing so, you can calculate as 46.7. 咁你留意下嗰個 bracket 啊，或者有冇漏咗唔記得乘2啊？呢兩個問題啊，記住分母咧 ，the whole thing should be in bracket. Okay. How about the second question? What is the percentage by mass of water in hydrated zinc nitrate? 兜進
係53.3啊
53.3. Can I have a look on your calculations?
我好似可能撳錯 Q 機，我一係撳多次。我唔知啊。
點解會啊？好講。
聽個語氣覺得好似錯㗎嘛。錯機。
係咧，有啲驚啦。So percentage of water is found in as what? How about the denominator and numerator? Numerator
6括10乘2 10乘幾多？10乘1.0啊？睇先，死啦！大鑊啦咁好。
10乘1
10乘係咪我寫錯
？10乘1.0點樣10乘1.0啊？Where？
啊！我睇錯題目啊！
Now this one is percentage by mass of water, okay? So we have got 6 water, so the numerator should be 6 water. The molar mass of water is 18.0, right?
有係啊，我知啊，我睇唔到個點，應該係16乘16.0就再加6乘1.0乘2。
哦 ，yeah， so 跟住咧，
然後下面就係65.4再加呢個14.0加16.0乘3，然後3括號乘2。
係，咁所以咧，
再加埋上面嗰嚿嘢咯。
上面嗰嚿啫，
即係6乘1.0乘2，再加6乘16.0。
嚇，咁所以你撳咗再嚟多次啦。
我撳多次。
哦，仲有嘅，仲有18.0。好，幾多？
係咪36.3啊
36.3啱 ，correct。36.3%。好，咁啊，留意翻就係水啦，你計咗好多次㗎啦。So you may find the molar mass of water is calculated as 18.0。OK， 咁好多人去到呢度咧開始記到㗎啦。如果做得多嘅話，咁啊，it save some time on doing such. How about the last question? The metal carbonate XCO3 has 51.4% by mass of X and 9.72% by mass of carbon. And calculate the relative atomic mass of X. And hence, you're going to identify X. So once you know that we have got let something, you're going to let something. To start with, you're going to let what? Let M be the relative atomic mass of X, for example. So if you want to calculate its formula mass of XCO3, you may find it as M plus 12.0 plus 3.16.0. Here comes a number, M plus 60.0. And I use this data for further use. Now, for example, if you want to calculate the percentage mass of X in XCO3, I know it is what? Just direct copying, it is 51.4%. And it is also equal to what? Equal to the calculations just like what we have done it previously. M in M plus 60.0 units of those XCO3, we can have what? We can have M for XCO3. So you are going to do the following mathematical expression. And what's next? 下一步做咩知唔知？識啦呢個。So you may have got 100 M equals 51.4 times M plus 60.0. And you can get what is M, right? 何禮賢。So what is N? Yeah, 63.5. Okay. So what is that? Now you check the periodic table and you know. Yes, copper. Yes, that is copper. That is copper. Okay. Questions? So from these calculations, you may find it involves some math skills. And you have to treat one of the REM of X as unknown for calculations. What is that about in chemistry? Is the percentage by mass of X in XCO3 equals 51.4%. And I use this for further calculations. Okay, questions? For those you think you can manage, please put a thumbs up in the chat box. You think that you can manage, or you want to make it faster while you're on.
撳錯啫，撳錯。
Okay, questions? 跟到未？好，何慧琳嗰啲咧，鄧家傑啊、林成漢啊，跟唔跟到啊？張思維、郭俊熙、黃成軒、李程毅俊滔。有嘢問做，而家問啦，有冇？好，郭俊熙咧，郭俊熙、黃成軒、魏俊滔、鄭學明。郭俊熙、黃成軒、黃成軒一次，黃成軒兩次，黃成軒。All right, so we will continue on this. So why do I need to use such a techniques? It's because for the analysis of the substance, scientists in the past would really want to know the formula of the substance. For example, sodium chloride. I know it's NaCl, but how do scientists know it's NaCl or not NaCl2 or Na2Cl? Now, somebody may argue, oh, Mr. Chin, I know it in bonding and structure. Each sodium atom lose 1 electron, and one chlorine atom will gain 1 electron. One of them will cause sodium ion, the other one is chloride ion, and they are combined in 1-to-1. So this is what you know in bonding. But there must be some theory that back up the whole thing, right? How I need an evidence. How do scientists know the formula is 1-to-1? And that is our concern. Okay, indeed, scientists have got so many different methods to come up with the formula of sodium chloride being in 1-to-1 ratio. 有冇人知啊？頭先佢哋問題，喂 ，sodium chloride 點解叫 NaCl 嘅？有冇證據嘅？有冇證據？考下大家啲科學知識先。佢點知道 sodium chloride 氯化鈉係就咁 sodium ion chloride 1:1㗎？佢點知啊？頭先你全部都係齋吹啫，咩 Na 正 Cl 負咁樣，跟住1:1，個 overall charge 要係 zero 咁樣，聽我明？
係。
How do scientists know sodium chloride with formula NaCl?
係咪計出嚟？
計出嚟，點計？
唔知。
阿 Sir
係
係咪做實驗將佢哋兩個，即係譬如做electrolysis出去拆翻開，然之後再計翻佢哋嗰個 mass。
哦，
冇
有人覺得係用電解嘅方法分開兩嚿，即係分翻開去完整整，跟住再睇下佢入邊各自有幾重，係咪啊？都 possible 啊 ，make sense 啊，係咪？因為如果我真係可以化學上面分解到呢兩樣嘢而分翻開佢嘅，嗱，分解同分開兩樣嘢嚟㗎。分解就係將 sodium chloride 完全變成另外兩隻物質啦。原本佢嘅元素有兩隻，所以應該分到兩隻啦。第二分開直情係 separate 喎。咁啊，直情係要，因為可能係再 mix 埋嗰陣時，你要分翻開去 sodium 一邊 chlorine 一邊，跟住就稱佢。咁稱完之後咁點咧？稱完咁各自 atom 係唔同質量㗎嘛，我點知道佢係邊隻打邊隻啫？即係有幾重有幾多咧？係嘛？
計佢嘅毛喎。
計佢嘅毛，咁我點知道佢嘅毛？當時科學家咧就係其實原來去揾出佢個原子質量咧係花好多嘅時間，真係唔係咁容易，真係唔係咁容易。咁所以咧我哋咧呢一個就係實驗室咧，就係我哋科學家 so far 會揾到嘅嘢嚟嘅。咁點樣揾到咧？就頭先黃耀朗噏嗰個咧係真係計數嘅過程嘅。但係真正佢點樣揾咧？原來有啲科學方法咧可以分翻開佢呢啲唔同嘅元素咧，其實佢入邊有咩成分嘅。咁啊有好多方法嘅。嗱，實驗方法嘅話咧，就係例如有一個方法叫做 sodium fusion test。少少 out of the syllabus 啊 ，and is used to make the sodium to have a reaction with the substances and try to break down the separate different substances. And I would like to know what are the substances are and how heavy it is. Afterwards, we can get the formula. And also the mass。咁第二個方法係咩咧？就係 X-ray diffraction pattern. So it is done by what? Shining X-ray through a crystal of sodium chloride and from the electron cloud density. Okay, you may know some of them, they are a positive charge and a negative charge, while they have different electron density. And I use this to get to know the ratio. I can find it as 1-to-1, and so that I know it's 1-to-1. Okay, so but in empirical formula, what is the calculation is done by mainly by sodium fusion test, Okay, because from the Chinese saying, I know that formula comes from experimental data. Okay, so how would you work out the empirical formula is by knowing the percentage of composition of those substances. Okay, so you may know the following. Now, for example, if you found that an oxide of chromium, it will contain 31.6% of oxygen by mass. The question is, what is the empirical formula of the oxide? 咁實驗式係頭先講咗啲咩咧？佢話 it tells you the simplest whole number ratio of atoms or ions in a compound. So we are now doing something like this. If I know chromium, oxygen contains 31.6% by mass, which means that chromium will contain 68.4 grams if you treat it as 100 grams of oxygen, of oxide. So here comes that. What's next is to calculate its number of moles. Its number of moles, you are going to calculate as mass over molar mass. By doing so, you can get chromium. We have got number of moles at 1.32 to oxygen 1.96 and 98. What is that later on? You are going to convert into the mole ratio. It is round off as 1 to 1.5. So what was 1 to 1.5? In mathematics, if we treat it as 2 to 3. Okay, so this is what the whole procedure it is. Okay, remember, do not do the approximation here. Now, what I mean is, for some people who love to do that is 1 and 1.5, it is 2. So here comes 1 to 2, right? That two data is not the same. So, and while the calculation is made it wrong, 唔好咁快喺呢度就做一個簡約變咗做2。嗱，如果唔係咧，你計錯數㗎啦。咁我點知係啱定唔啱啊 ？So I use we will stop it here 1.00 to 1.50 as start, and you do that conversion。亦都有人咧，你會將呢度變咗做1。明明呢度係計到 1.32 係1啊嘛 ，1.98 係2啊嘛，咁你都會計錯嘅。咁所以咧呢一度你見唔見到咧係要除咩咧？係要除一個最細嘅數嘅。所謂最細嘅數喺邊度揾到咧 ？You may find it on here. Okay, from amount 1.32 and 1.96, choose the smaller number. Okay, you know what to do now? Now the best way is to show it by calculations. Your turn. Work out your, in practical sense, how can we work out the empirical formula? It can be very easy. For example, if you have a piece of magnesium and I want to find out the empirical formula of magnesium oxide, what we can do is to heat it until magnesium forms an oxide. And the mass of the magnesium and the mass of the oxide will be found. Okay, and later on you do some mathematical treatment, okay, to get to know, well, we have got mass of the magnesium and mass of oxygen respectively, and by doing so you can get the calculations later on. 其實你可以咁樣做，即係實驗，所謂實驗性就係用實驗方法揾出佢哋入邊有嘅元素，得嗎？ So you may find magnesium 0.318 I increase in mass of 0.196 gram, which is the mass of oxygen. By doing so, you can get the empirical formula of magnesium oxide is 1:1, is MgO. Why? Because I use that mass ratio, cannot tell the mole ratio. I need to change it to a mole ratio. So here comes number of moles here. They are just mass only. Okay, so the calculations here is number of moles as well. But this time I would like to make it as the smallest number to be divided by the smallest number. So you may find from 0.0131 to 0.0120, I divided by 0.0120. And afterwards, you may find it the ratio of magnesium to oxygen is 1:1. I would arrive the answer as MgO. Okay, your turn. Question 1 on page 82. Oh, sorry, 87 this time. 87. A fluoride of a sulfur contains 29.7 grams by mass of sulfur. What is the empirical formula of fluoride? Do you know what is the first step? The first step is very important. Suppose we have got 100 grams of a fluoride of sulfur. So the mass of sulfur is 29.7 grams. What is the remaining 70.3 grams? What is that? It's fluoride. So this is the first step I would like to address to all of you. First step, suppose we have got 100.0 grams of fluoride. By doing so, you can have a fluoride of sulfur. We've got two parts. One is sulfur. The other one, of course, it is fluorine. Can you get the point? Here, sulfur is 29.7%. Of course, it is 70.3%. Using percentage cannot calculate, but I change it to gram, I can calculate, right? So I put it as 100 grams. Do you understand? And then do such, and then I divide it by its own RAM, and we can get the number of moles of atoms found inside. It is 0.925 mole to 3.70 mole. Now, so what you need to do is to divide it by the smallest number. What is the smallest number? It is 0.925. So make it as the denominator. And you may get what is the result is 1 to 4. And remember to leave your answer, empirical formula of the fluoride is SF4. Do you understand? 識唔識計？有問題要有嘢問嘅呢度。有咩問？嗱冇啦，又俾第二條你喎。譬如呢條嘛，佢話1.00 gram of Rex phosphorus was burned in a reactor with oxygen to give 2.291 gram of oxide. What is the empirical formula of the oxide? 咁你呢嚿嘢咧包含住啲乜咧？嗱，第一樣你要識解構條題目啊。呢嚿入邊有啲乜嘢東東？有 phosphorus 同埋有 oxygen，right？ 咁 phosphorus 有幾重啊 ？oxygen 有幾重啊？
phosphorus 咪1 gram 咯
1 gram 啊，
係 oxygen 就係個2.291減1。
係嗱，原來2.291嗰度係包兩樣嘢㗎，一個係 phosphorus， 一個 oxygen。所以咧，呢個答案咧應該係2.291減翻抽翻1 gram 出嚟計。咁你呢度計到幾多啊？抽出嚟啊
1.291
291 gram 得唔得？嗱，我攞呢兩個數計 ，phosphorus and oxygen. To start with, you need to know the mass of phosphorus and mass of oxygen respectively. So that's why very first thing that you may find is 1.291 gram of oxygen here. And I use this directly, I can directly use it. Now, no need to make it 100 gram. No need. Why? Because mass has already been given. So I use this as a start and I divide it by the RAM respectively. So phosphorus is on this, oxygen is on this data. And you can get it as 0.0323 mole of phosphorus and oxygen 0.0807. Do not do approximation too early. You are going to divide it by the smallest number. This is 0.0325, and you can get phosphorus to oxygen mole ratio is 1 to 2.5. And again, do not do the approximation too early because I want to make it as a whole number mole ratio, and in which the whole number should be in simplest. So remember, simplest whole number ratio. Instead of telling you it's 1 to 3, the answer is 2 to 5. 唔好呢度懶醒，變咗呢個係3 mole 咁啊玩完啦，咁樣1:3就玩完㗎啦，得唔得？唔係啊，你係要轉幾時要變翻咩咧？要變翻一個最簡單整數比例，所以咧你見到1:2.5咧，答案就係2:5啦，得唔得？1:2.5就係2:5，咁呢個先係最簡單整數比例，咁就唔係1:3啊。呢個得唔得先？跟緊到嗱，你話做呢啲題目咧，冇唔話難唔難唔難，話易唔易咁嘅。最麻煩咩咧？就係嗰個運算入邊幾時戰要做即係叫做 approximation 咧咁樣。嗱呢一度咧就千祈唔好咁早做，你一早做咧就賴嘢㗎，你要計錯晒嘅。例如係即係 approximation 唔應該做啦。例如係第一個位0.0，你冇走嚟0.0323，跟住0.0807，跟住咧有同學咧懶醒啦，有人以為係3:8啦，係嘛？咁已經唔啱啦。你睇下3:8呢個數就同2:5咧就參天共地嘅，係嘛？咁所以咧同學你千祈咧就唔好做呢一類 approximation。最準嘅數係除咩咧？除翻佢呢兩個數嘅其中一個最細嘅數，咁啊最準㗎。咁當然啦，如果我話兩個數入邊揾一個最細嘅數，咁其中一個一定係1㗎啦，係咪？咁另外一個係乜啦？可能係2.5啦，等等。咁下一步做咩？你就1:2.5嘅時候，你轉翻2:5咯。咁跟翻到呢度。嗱，最尾咧，因為你1點啦，嗱，可能有幾條類似數學嘅問題，要大家留意啊。例如1:1.5，咁你會嗌係幾多咧？嗱，如果你計呢個，sorry 啊，8清除晒先，1:1.5，你計到係2:3，頭先計到幾多啊？1:2.5，你會計到咩啊？2:5，識係嘛？咁1:3.5咧，你計到幾多？2:7，跟唔跟到？明啊？好啦，嚟啲勁嘢啦。 1:1.33，即係幾多
3:4，
係3:4，點解啊？點解咁計？
兩邊乘翻3。
係啦，咁你上邊乘翻3就得啦。又或者咧，有同學會知道係咩嘅？1:1.33咧，就學翻小學學嘅嘢啦。1:4/3，係咪啊？咁如果係呢個嘅話咧，你就會變到3:4㗎啦，得唔得？咁即係話其實我以後我見到咧啲答案咧，有機會我哋揾翻你小學入邊你學過嘅一啲小數啊，啲小數變翻轉頭啊，例如係咩0.625啊，1:0.625即係幾多啊？咁你開始難啦，係咪啊？識唔識啊？咩嚟㗎呢啲？識唔識計？1:0.625即係幾多？唔明。1:0.625。
8:5。
係啊，0.625即係咩嚟㗎？其實平時你講嘅小數係咩㗎
5%咯。
係啦，5/8啫嘛。所以咧，你呢個咧，你應該計咩咧？就變咗個1:5/8咯。5×8咯，就等於8:5咯。明唔明啊？咁所以咧，你要有呢啲數學嘅概念咧，你就容易啲計。跟唔跟到先？咁啊，第3條留待大家翻去做咯，好唔好？第3條留待大家翻去做。咁我哋原本咧，我想下個晏晝開堂嘅，得唔得？咁但係咧，我就因為頭先唔知你哋同學有冇留意，我上下堂我都麻麻地，我個人唔係好舒服啊，開始唔好意思啊。咁所以咧，我今日我未必開到堂，係啦，我想要休息下先。咁我希望睇下會唔會禮拜幾會容易啲？禮拜2或者禮拜3會唔會好啲啊？因為我想都俾我今日晏晝唞唞先，係啊，因為有少少真係唔係好得，係啦，唔好意思啊。再話翻俾我聽咩 How about night 啊？唉，馮家謙咩人嚟㗎你？
俾阿 Sir 瞓下覺啦，係嘛？
阿 Sir 攰啦，
好衰啊，馮家謙！
唔係喎，思賢成日見翻思賢夜晚補課。
咩 How about night 啊？搞錯啊！你真係好差啊！你真係好冇同情心啊！真係係啊！咩？我今日唔得啊，晏晝我頭
唔係啊，係之後嗰啲啊，因為咧我驚真係咧，你晏晝咧，真係阿 Sir 如果你要開會嘅話，唔得嘅話變咗要夜晚。
你唔使理我㗎啦呢啲嘢。咁我今日晏晝我瞓先。聽日或者後日得唔得咧？睇先，我聽日我睇下我 schedule 先。咁啊，
我哋聽日後日好似要 physics 嘅 quiz 喎，我唔記得咗星期2定星期3要 quiz 喎。
係咪啊？禮拜2定禮拜3啊？
星期2有 quiz，
好似星期2。
星期2啊？咁啊，咁完咗先啦，完咗 quiz 先啦。係啊，咁啊禮拜我睇先，我睇下好似我睇下聽日我使唔使開會先？你哋 physics 係幾點鐘測驗啊
3點啊
3點幾？
3點測到幾點啊？
應該測半個鐘頭啊，好似測咗。
測到3點半啊？
係咯，應該係我睇翻個 cap 圖先。
係。不如一陣間喺 WhatsApp 再講好唔好？你話俾我聽幾點？係嘛？咁啊，聽日啦，噏住聽日先啦，係嘛？唔好意思啊，我真係要唞，我就唔係好頂得順，有啲頭痛。係啦，我暫時唔想同房家謙講嘢住啊。
OK。
好啦，係咁啦，唔該晒，拜拜。
拜拜。